Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Brooke confronts Taylor and Steffi walks in on Hope and Carter. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for upcoming episodes of the hit CBS soap tease that confrontations and interruptions are the name of the game. Things between Hope, Annika Noel, and Carter, Lawrence St. Victor, are beginning to heat up. Steffi, Jacqueline Messinswood, and Brooke, Catherine Kelly Lang, were working on reuniting Liam, Scott Clifton, and Hope, but that doesn't seem to be. Meanwhile, Brooke should have known better than to spy on Ridge, Thorsten K., but she did it anyway. As the writers gear up for sweeps month, things should pick up with the storylines in play. Here's what to expect from the upcoming The Bold and the Beautiful episodes. In Friday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke was seen peeking through the windows at Steffi's house. It's where Ridge went to meet Taylor, Rebecca Buddig, after rushing out of the office following her call. Steffi was all too happy to tease Brooke about her parents' connection, which likely gave the blonde the push she needed to check up on Ridge. The Bold and the Beautiful preview video highlights the confrontation between Brooke and Taylor. Things get heated when Brooke confronts Taylor for being in Ridge's lap. Taylor insists Brooke doesn't know the whole story, which she doesn't, but she isn't buying it. We are back to the Taylor/Brooke/Ridge triangle again. Another part of The Bold and the Beautiful preview video shows Hope and Carter continuing the moment they were sharing on Friday. She is intrigued by him, and after their first kiss, there is a spark. Hope wants to see what more there is, but they are interrupted by Steffi, who demands to know what she walked in on. Carter takes up for Hope, breaking up the confrontation between the two women. This pairing wasn't what anyone saw coming, especially since she had just kissed Finn, Tanner Novlin. Steffi is still angry and taking everything out on Hope. Spoilers tease that Liam will continue to try to win Hope back, but she is interested in moving forward with Carter. He is ready to go to bat for Hope with Ridge and Steffi when it comes to hope for the future. Be sure to tune in daily so that not a moment of the confrontations and interruptions are missed. The tension at Forrester Creations had reached its boiling point. Brooke Logan stormed through the hallways with a determined look on her face, her high heels clicking against the sleek marble floor. The fiery blonde had spent the past few days replaying the latest events in her mind, her frustrations simmering just beneath the surface. It was time for a confrontation, and Brooke was not one to back down. Her target was Taylor Hayes. For months now, Taylor had been a thorn in Brooke's side, especially when it came to Ridge. The love triangle between Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor had been rekindled. And while Brooke had always felt confident in her bond with Ridge, Taylor's continued presence was unnerving. To make matters worse, Steffi had been adding fuel to the fire, whispering doubts into Ridge's ear about Brooke's loyalty. It had all been too much. Brooke reached the door to Taylor's office and paused for a brief moment, gathering herself before she twisted the handle and pushed it open with force. Taylor was standing at her desk, her eyes immediately meeting Brooke's with a mixture of surprise and wariness. "Brooke," Taylor greeted, her tone neutral but cautious. "What brings you here?" "You know damn well why I'm here, Taylor," Brooke snapped, stepping into the room and closing the door behind her. "I've had enough of your manipulations. You're trying to come between Ridge and me again, and I won't stand for it." Taylor sighed, her expression softening with a hint of exasperation. "Brooke, I'm not manipulating anyone. Ridge and I share a history, just like you and him do. But you have to understand, he's conflicted. We all want what's best for him." Brooke's eyes blazed. "Don't give me that. You've been pushing Steffi to interfere too. This has to stop, Taylor. If you care about Ridge as much as you claim, you'd back off and let him be happy with me." Taylor's calm facade cracked ever so slightly, her own frustration surfacing. Ridge deserves to be with someone who truly understands him. someone who isn't constantly distracted by other men or other issues in her life. Steffi has seen firsthand how your relationship with Ridge is unstable. She's only trying to protect her father. Protect him? Brooke laughed bitterly. Is that what you call it? Manipulation and schemes? You and Steffi are working together to tear us apart, but it won't work, Taylor. Ridge and I always find our way back to each other. Before Taylor could respond, the door swung open and Steffi entered the room, her eyes darting between the two women. She could sense the charged atmosphere immediately. What's going on here? Steffi asked, her tone guarded. Brooke crossed her arms and turned to face Steffi. Perfect timing. I was just telling your mother that her interference, and yours, needs to stop. Ridge and I are together, and nothing you or anyone else does is going to change that. Steffi's jaw tightened, her fierce protectiveness of her family coming to the forefront. Brooke, you've hurt my dad too many times. I'm not going to sit by and watch him go through that pain again. You may think you're good for him, but we both know that's not true. Brooke took a step closer, her voice low and filled with warning. I love Ridge, Steffi, and I won't let anyone, especially you, destroy what we have. Your father deserves to make his own choices, without you or your mother pulling the strings. Steffi's eyes narrowed, but before she could fire back, Taylor intervened, stepping between the two women. Enough, Taylor said firmly. This isn't helping anyone. Ridge needs peace, not more conflict. Brooke shook her head, her frustration boiling over. The only conflict here is coming from you two. Stay out of my marriage. With those final words, Brooke turned on her heel and stormed out of the office, leaving Taylor and Steffi standing in the aftermath of her fury. As Brooke made her way down the hallway, her heart still racing from the confrontation, her mind was focused on Ridge. She needed to find him, to remind him of their love and the life they had built together. But as she turned a corner, something unexpected caught her eye. Hope, her daughter, and Carter Walton, standing in the design room, much too close for comfort. Brooke's breath caught in her throat. The scene before her sent alarm bells ringing in her mind. Hope, dressed in one of the sleek new designs, was laughing with Carter, her hand brushing his arm in a way that seemed far too intimate. Brooke froze, her mind racing. What was going on here? Hope had been struggling with her feelings for Thomas, and while Brooke had been wary of that situation, this was something else entirely. Carter was a respected figure at Forrester Creations, but seeing him with Hope like this made Brooke's stomach churn. Before Brooke could fully process what she was seeing, Steffi came around the corner and stopped dead in her tracks. Her eyes widened as she took in the scene before her. Hope and Carter standing dangerously close, oblivious to the fact that they were no longer alone. Hope? Steffi's voice was sharp, cutting through the moment like a knife. Hope and Carter both jerked away from each other, startled by the sudden intrusion. Hope's face flushed with embarrassment as she quickly put distance between herself and Carter. Steffi, Hope stammered, her eyes darting to Brooke, who was still standing in shock, before settling back on Steffi. This isn't what it looks like. Steffi crossed her arms, her gaze cold and suspicious. Oh really? Because it looks like you're getting a little too cozy with Carter. Carter, ever the professional, cleared his throat and stepped forward. This was nothing, Steffi. Hope and I were just. But Steffi wasn't having it. She cut him off with a wave of her hand. Save it, Carter. I know what I saw. Hope's eyes filled with panic as she tried to explain. Steffi, I swear, it was just a moment. We were talking about the new designs, and talking. Steffi's voice dripped with sarcasm. It sure didn't look like talking to me. Does Liam know about this, or should I be the one to tell him? Brooke finally found her voice, stepping forward to defend her daughter. Steffi, that's enough. You don't know the whole story. Steffi glared at Brooke. And you do? Maybe you should ask your daughter what's really going on before you defend her. The air was thick with tension, and as the four of them stood in the design room, it was clear that this confrontation was far from over. The lines between loyalty, love, and betrayal were blurring once again in the lives of the Foresters and Logans.